What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. Yo, check this out. Accessories for the Nexus Pro. 3D printed Picatinny rails for the front, sling attachment point for the buffer tube, and flared magwell extensions for the half dart adapter and the standard magwell. Also, 2 different spring options to achieve different muzzle velocities. First, the top rail. This is a Picatinny rail that turns the rail system into a mono rail because that step down on the Nexus has always bugged me a little bit. This unit slides over the existing Picatinny rail, then you tighten it down with this screw right here. Then it holds it in place and you can put more attachments on there. Even if you don't want to put anything on there, it makes it a mono rail, which just looks way cooler. Very cool, super easy to install. It does not require you take apart the blaster at all. Next, these side rails, which go on the right and the left-hand side of the blaster. Installing these is way more difficult than this top rail though, because you do have to take apart the blaster. After you completely disassemble the blaster, you can snap these in place and tighten them in from the rear. Then you reassemble your blaster and you have Picatinny rails on both sides of the blaster. You don't have to attach anything to make it look cooler. Naked rails just look awesome and super tactical in my opinion. But if you want additional tactics, you can put something like a flashlight over on the side. So you can have your tactical flashlight and it's not in the way of your red dot. So you can be all tactical. Tactics! These rails are custom fit for the Nexus Pro. They fit really well and they're really snug once you install them. And the rails do add a noticeable amount of thickness, so when your hands are on the side of the blaster, it definitely feels thicker. So if your unit is a little too thin, you can add to its girthiness. Next, a rear sling mount. This is also super easy to install. You take off your stock, you slide it on, then you tighten it up with the screw right here. And then that's firmly in place. So if you want to clip in your sling, you now have a sling mount. The little loop is on the right and the left-handed side, so a right and left-handed shooter can use it equally. Full ampy, bro! Tactics, bro! Hey, Coop, why do you need a sling? It's just a Nerf gun. It's not that heavy. You can just carry it. Slings make that transition to your pistol way more tactical. Entirely necessary? No, but it's tactical. It looks awesome. It feels awesome. That is a sling mount. Now to the flared magwells. They have 2, one for the main magwell and one for the half dart magwell. The main magwell one snaps into place and it is sturdy. You don't have to glue it in place, and then when you want to rip it off, you totally can. Installing this is the same thing. It just snaps into place. What is the point of a flared magwell? Freaking tactics, bro. Are you even paying attention? The whole theme of this video is tactics. A flared magwell increases the surface area. It's a bigger hitbox for your reload. Like when you're changing the oil in your car, you need a funnel because it's really hard to pour right into that tiny little hole. So you make a big old funnel, so then your hitbox is gigantic, so you don't even have to look to quickly reload. The half dart magwell does make a difference, but it's pretty subtle. However, the Nexus Pro has probably one of the dumbest magwell designs I've ever seen in my life. I absolutely hate this magwell. It's hard to see, it's hard to index, it's hard to catch, it's just a stupid design. This whole like ridge thing is just, it's obnoxious. So when you snap one of these things in place, that is an intelligently designed magwell. So even if you're not looking at your blaster, you're able to quickly insert that magazine. Very functional, and I also think it looks super cool as well. All of the blue components I've just talked about are 3D printed, and you can actually order them in different colors on the Out of Darts website. So if you don't like blue and you want a different color, you can order a different color. I just personally think blue and orange look really good next to each other, and I don't intend to paint this particular blaster. This looks way sexier than a standard Nexus Pro, does it not? Tactical rails on the side, man. Freaking tactics. It just looks good. Those are the 3D printed components. Next up, the available springs. Changing out the spring on the Nexus Pro is really simple. You can pull off the stock, get your screwdriver, remove that screw, twist this cap off, and then the spring will come out. So then you can throw in your new spring, snap that back into place, reinstall your screw, put your stock back on, and now you're shooting at a totally different muzzle velocity. And you don't even have to open up the main part of the blaster. That's a super cool feature of the Nexus Pro. So Out of Darts sent me 2 different springs, one that is weaker than the stock Nexus Pro spring, and one that is stronger. So I chronoed everything with Dart Zone half-length darts, Nerf Elite darts, and Dart Zone Wafflehead full-length darts. And these were my findings. The stronger spring added 30 to 40 feet per second with Elite darts and Dart Zone half-length darts. Keep in mind the Dart Zone green Wafflehead darts really are not optimized for the Nexus Pro because it uses a compression barrel. I just put it up as an example for comparison. And the weaker spring drops the velocity down to 110 and 127. However, with Dart Zone half-length darts and the weak spring, the range was between 79 and 132 feet per second. That is a massively wide range, which is so inconsistent. A lot of the darts were essentially just farting out of the barrel. I would not recommend the weak spring. I really think it's a problem with this compression barrel. When you're talking about airspeed and air volume, you have to match the right barrel, both in barrel tightness and in barrel length. So unfortunately, to shoot at that lower velocity, I think that would require a barrel change. So I really don't recommend the weak spring. However, if you want to shoot faster, the strong spring performs very well in this blaster. You don't have to change out the catch. You don't have to open up the main part of the blaster at all to install this strong spring. And again, don't use Dart Zone Wafflehead darts in this. Use some dart type with an inset dart tip head. That's very important with the compression barrel. But keep in mind, bros, the strong spring does make the prime a lot harder to do. If your arms are struggling to prime back the factory Nexus Pro, the strong spring is going to make that even harder, obviously. But I think that extra power is totally worth the harder prime. So pow, that's my first episode of Yo, Check This Out. Quick overview and breakdown on products that don't really justify a full, comprehensive, elaborate review. Let me know what you guys think of the new series concept. And thank you to Out of Darts for sending over all of these sample units for review. If you'd like to purchase any of these, check out outofdarts.com, or I'll put individual links to each of these products in the description box below. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, bros, and as always, stay tactical.